Thank you. We're here today with Dr. Aranander, Director of the Brain Research Institute. New EEG research demonstrates that listening to Vedic recitation creates highly coherent brain functioning, the basis for clearer thinking, more successful action in the individual and in society. The human brain functions through electrical impulses. When we speak, we use words. When your brain cells speak, it uses electrical activity. The EEG machine has been designed to measure this electrical activity coming from different parts of the brain. Here we have a brain that's looking to the left. Now the back part of the brain processes perception, seeing, hearing, touching. It comes together into our concrete picture of the world in this part of the brain. The top is movement. When you move your finger, when you're playing tennis, when you're speaking, when you're playing piano, this is a part of your brain that is active. The all-important front of the brain is the chief executive officer. It's the boss of the brain. It integrates all other areas of the brain into successful plans and actions. It's involved in judgment. It's involved in moral reasoning, decision-making, sense of self. Now, the activity of the brain can be incoherent or it can be coherent. Here's an example of incoherent brain waves. Notice two things. Notice that the amplitude of the two signals are different. This is the actual electrical activity from the front of the brain, two areas of the front of the brain about 2 centimeters apart. Notice that the amplitude is different. It's much smaller. And also the rising and the falling, the frequency of these two EEG waves are not together. They're incoherent. Incoherent means the brain is not working as a whole. Different areas of the brain are working in localized, fragmented way. In contrast to that, here we see highly coherent brain waves. These have been recorded during listening to Vedic sounds. Notice, one, the amplitude is much higher, and also notice the similarity of the waves. The rising and falling of the waves are together. This is highly coherent brain waves. This is the type of brain functioning which underlies clear thinking, successful planning, successful action. So now actually we'll be looking at how the brain functions when someone is sitting, normal mental activity, and then listening to Vedic recitation. We're very happy to have with us today a faculty member from Mauritius University of Management, Dr. David Pullman. Now what you see on Dr. Pullman's head is a blue stretch cap. In the cap are the sensors. These pick up the electrical activity from 32 different places upon his brain. It comes into our EEG machine, and then we can actually record it. And this is what you'll be seeing. So you'll be seeing tracings from two parts of the brain. It'll be the two in the front. And we'll start with just normal waking activity. Now as the cursor goes across, that's in real time. That's what his brain is doing, just during normal mental activity. And now we'll begin Vedic recitation. And what you want to notice is how the amplitude of the waves will change and their similarity. So let's just stop and look at this tracing here. Notice how dramatically different it is from the period before. 30 seconds difference. And what do we see? Notice that the amplitude of the wave is much higher. Notice that the relationship of the two waves, the similarity of the waves are much higher. This is the signature of high EEG coherence. And high coherence has great value. High coherence is seen to be correlated with everything which is good in brain functioning. Creativity, intelligence, moral reasoning, neuromuscular efficiency, self-awareness, academic performance. And we see this style of brainwave coherence throughout different areas of the brain. Here we see the first two leads are from the front. That's what we were looking in Dr. Pullman. The third one, the red one, is from the center of the brain. The bottom one is from the back of the brain. Notice the high similarity of these waves in amplitude, in coherence, how they're rising and falling together. What we've seen is the spreading of coherence, which we first saw in a very local part of the brain, to cover the entire brain. This is global coherence. Global coherence means the entire brain is functioning as a whole. It means that the 10 billion neurons of your brain are not working independently in isolated, fragmented areas, but are working as one. The effects of global coherence during listening to Vedic recitation is to train the brain to have this style of functioning all the time. And when several thousands of human beings function in this coherent way, then we'll see the whole society will be functioning in greater order. Holistic brain functioning is Vedic brain functioning.